Hello everybody, this is going to be a quick video, one that I'm going to post right before stream, so A, if you're watching the video, please come hang out live, stream at twitch.tv/moviebeba, but anyway, that aside, I kind of want to talk about something that I heard Scott talking about, and I watched this video kind of talking about, but I haven't fully watched it, so please, if I say something that he might clears up later in the video, I'm sorry, I do apologize for that, but I wanted to talk about kind of the second chance perks, but that's not what I mainly want to talk about. I want to talk about exhaustion perks, and how exhaustion perks feel from a killer main's perspective. I will say, first and foremost, I'm not the best, but I would call myself a decent player. I've made it to iridescent rank 1 last season. I know that doesn't mean a lot, but at the same time, it feels like, you know, at least I know something. And I've gone against a fair amount of exhaustion perks. And Dead Hard being quite prominent compared to a lot of other perks. And one of my biggest things there was I think in one of my past videos, it might be in the Dredged Prestige Challenge, where I was getting back into the game, and I wasn't as good back then, so I ended up being angry at Dead Hard, and being like, well, how they just fuck up and they get away with it and shit like that, and more or less, that was coming from a point of me not understanding much of the game, and not really understanding a lot. And it just, now me being a better player, I've realized that honestly, out of all the exhaustion perks, Dead Hard is the easiest to fight against. It's one of the easiest to just be like, oh, whatever, I'm able to get you. And that's why, genuinely, I personally recommend running anything else, probably except for the one where if you take a hit, you run faster for 2 more seconds. That one, I'm kind of, it doesn't seem like the best, at least in my opinion. But something like Live, Balance Landing, really anything else, I'm trying to think, what's another one? But, you know the exhaustion perks. Those are genuinely just better in my opinion. Because if you use Dead Hard enough and you're good enough with Dead Hard, you can put the killer in a situation where they have to hit you, or you're able to get away for a little bit longer. But at the same time, it's one of those things where, why put yourself in that situation anyway? If you had something like Balance, you can just get away. If you have something like Life, you can just get away. And that right there extends your chase, instead of possibly ending your chase right there. I recommend running an exhaustion perk no matter what. Because, especially if you're solo queue. This is very particular. If you're in solo queue, I just 100% recommend you run an exhaustion perk, because you don't know what your teammates are running. If you're in Survive with Friends, go ahead, run whatever, as you have communication rather than an exhaustion perk, which can very much be better and stuff like that. But yeah, no matter what, my recommendation, please run an exhaustion perk, because if you're caught out and your teammates are trying to do gens and stuff, and your chase ends like that, then there was no point to it in the first place. And also, sorry if you hear my dog in the background right now. He's barking. I will let him out after I'm done recording this. But yeah, genuinely, that's kind of like my whole thing is Dead Hard can be a very powerful exhaustion perk, but it's also an exhaustion perk that can just end your run straight up. And yeah, so if you're going against a competent killer most of the time, they can read out your Dead Hard, and once they know you have Dead Hard, they know you have Dead Hard every time. It's like all it takes is one check on your survivor, then boom, you instantly know who has Dead Hard and who doesn't. And that's why I don't see Dead Hard as a second chance perk. It's just, okay, here's what I will say though. Dead Hard is more frustrating to go against rather than other exhaustion perks, at least in my opinion, because you actually hit the survivor and then that gets away. So you get angry at the perk whenever you should realize that you should be angry at yourself, or you get angry at the perk because you should be getting angry at yourself for hitting that survivor during that time. So yeah, that's one reason why I feel like a lot of people find more frustration in Dead Hard rather than a few other things. But yeah, genuinely, that's kind of my whole take on the situation. And then I agree with Scott with like borrowed time or off the record. One of my biggest annoyances with something like off the record or something like borrowed time is how they will use that hit to be very annoying and body block their teammates and stuff like that. Whenever at that point, at least I would rather them run away and then so they take a hit and their teammates able to get out free too. Which at that point, if you're doing something like that, I feel like, at least in my opinion, perfectly fair game for me to go after you again. But yeah, that's at least my opinion on things. Yeah, that's moral of the story. Run an exhaustion perk. Don't get angry at Dead Hard. Dead Hard is actually a fairly easy thing to counter at times. You just have to play a bit more unpredictable as a killer so that, you know, they can't react to the hit. But yeah, with that being said, well, hope y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching, and deuces.